Yo guys, what's going on? Today we got a new video on the Dart Zone Max Solo. This was brought to be by the T-Pain. Thank you very much, T-Pain, for sending this over. It really means a lot. It's a pro level jolt basically, and I don't think there's any British people online that have done a video on this yet. So it's going to be my take on it. I've already messed around with it a little bit to sort of get my first impressions, but I really like the box, so I thought I'd show you it. It's got nice artwork on every side, and then I push it up, you have the blaster inside of there, and then your darts at the bottom. I've only took half of them out, just keep the other ones fresh. And also you get some guides. There's a guide on what darts they sell, because they sell a lot of darts. Tells you not to send it back to the store, and then a really cool instructions booklet that shows you how to use it. Obviously I don't think anyone would actually need this, just because it's pretty self-explanatory how it works, but it's pretty cool that they included it, and they've got a French side and an English side. So yeah. So yeah, this is the blasters, how it comes in the box. It's a little bit larger than a Jolt, handle wise, but it all makes up for it in how good it is. This is my modded Jolt. I've got a body kit on it at the moment, but you can see the actual size of it. I mean, even with this body kit, the body kit's about the same size as it, pretty much. But in my testing, when I ran this over the chronograph, I was getting speeds of 139 to 140 FPS, and that's not just with the included Bambu 2x darts, what they call them. That's with hard tips, and then with these, I was getting like 120s to 130s as well. Hard tips seem to get the best performance out of things like this. But we're going to also run through pretty much every ammo type that I own, bar a couple that don't actually fit. I did actually forget one. I need to go and get it. So yeah, I've got quite a lot, and I'm going to see if the Ultra Dart fits, because I've got a really used one that, like, it's quite a lot of crush to it. Still holds up really well, this one, but we're going to see. So out of the box, this is already getting better performance than a modded Jolt. This one has a much stronger spring in it. It's got the air restrictors removed, and it's really tough to prime it. I'm not going to dry fire it because it's got no air restrictors, but this only gets speeds of about 89 to 90 FPS, and that's me really pushing this one. I can't believe I managed to get 90 out of this one, but this because of the spring that I put in, and I did a good job resealing it. So it's good. I mean, this one's good. I was really surprised with what I got out of my original Jolt, but the fact that this shoots even harder, and it actually has some more usability to it, which I'll go through. So the main problem we had with the original Jolt is that you'd have to front load everything. So you couldn't get the perfect seal unless you vacuumed it or pushed it down. With the Solo, you can obviously put it straight through. I've oiled this barrel a bit, so it's got some nice shine to it now. But yeah, it makes it so much better to load. I wasn't sure about the air seal to begin with, because with most break action dart blasters, there's always a gap, and that gap obviously means you're going to lose air. When they're shell ejection, you can usually redesign the shells. There's a video that I did a long time ago, and it was on the 1887 shotgun, and someone that I know actually redesigned the shells, and what it does is it makes a better air seal to the gasket, so you're getting way better FPS. I was getting speeds of 90 to 100 FPS out of the 1887, and that's just from the shell being upgraded. So you know, if you do that with a spring, you're going to get way more as well as the seals. So I wasn't sure to begin with, because of the way this is designed. It's recessed as well inside of here, and you can see that's a little bit recessed. No one really talks about that. But what I found is the barrel also sticks out a little bit, well, the dart gate, because this is a plastic dart gate that feeds through to the metal barrel. And the barrel seems like it does stick out of here. So I'm going to see if the worker released a BCAR 2-pack that Milo Mods donated to me, and I really appreciate that, Milo. I'm going to see if the adapter fits in here when I do the testing on it, so this will be included in that video. So stay tuned for that, because I want to see if we can turn this into a little like target pistol kind of thing. So yeah, so we'll see on that one. So I found that the air seal is really good for what it is. There's a little bit of play side to side on the barrel. You can kind of hear that, but it doesn't actually mean any lack of performance, which is quite good. I noticed online you can get extended release catches on here if you really wanted to, but this is actually quite a good release. It's not too hard to press, and it's got some good texture on the back. I believe these side fins are to stop there being too much play in the design, stops too much wobble. The trigger pull is quite nice, but you've got to remember to press the bottom of the trigger. I found if you press higher up, it's harder to pull the trigger. You have the safety on here, which I don't think anyone uses. I think the only reason you probably use it is if you had it primed, folded, and probably put the safety on as well. I like that the T-bar folds. That does make it a little bit easier to pocket the design. The only thing with this, if you do mod this to turn it sideways, it's just going to turn sideways into the blaster, and that won't be flush. This is designed so it stays flush with the grip. Because it's narrower here, if you folded this sideways, it would probably stick out. So you couldn't do the design that we did with that. But this doesn't fold. If this folded away, we probably wouldn't have done that. So that is bonus points straight away that it doesn't get in the way. I also find when this is folded, this actually acts as like a stand, and you can stand this up on surfaces. There's actually some texturing on the grip, which is really nice. Camera won't really pick it up, but it's got some stippling on this part of the grip, and yeah, it's got some nice lines as well, so it doesn't feel too bad holding it. I've got quite large hands, and you can see it fits quite nicely. I've seen online people actually like to hold it like this and shoot, and I do see why, because you can kind of point with your finger. Yeah, I've been quite impressed with this so far. The rail on top's pretty cool. You can use the X-Shot attachment thing, but what I find is it is tough, but it's not tough enough. When you're putting this on something and you try and prime, this comes off the blaster. So there's something I'm going to be designing and working with my team to try and make something we can actually bolt this onto things. So I can bolt this onto some blasters. I've got some ideas in the future. I won't say too much yet, but yeah, I'm going to try and turn this into more of a crooked cousin. Just because it has the rear load design. Once this is attached to the blaster, you can load it, open it up, and then fire. So yeah, it works quite well for that. But I do a bit of shooting. I shoot with the original one, and I'll include a test with the ammo as well. So of course, the original ones fire fine. Turn sideways just so you can kind of see. Feel free to zoom in. You can actually zoom in on a mobile device. Don't know if you can do it on a PC, but you can zoom into this. Full size X-Shot dart. This is the other thing I really like, because the barrel's long enough. You can use full size darts in this. They shoot just as powerful as well. I haven't seen a power drop at all in these. This is a hard tip dart. This comes with a lot of the cheap dollar store type blasters. It's got quite thick foam. I actually quite like these for blasters like this, and you'll see they pack quite a punch. They got hard tip short darts. These are pretty much the same thing. Slightly less dense foam. They shoot just as powerful, probably a bit more, because of the added weight on the end. I find that if you want to use some really old school darts, you can't, obviously, you could cram it in there, but that's not gonna, I don't think that will fire if you push that in all the way. What you can do is treat this like an old school jolt at that point. Still fires it. You don't need to have a complete seal in the beginning part of the barrel because of how good the seal is, luckily. And obviously the one everyone was waiting for, I know you're all waiting for this one. That was an ultra dart, guys, without a modded solo. So that's pretty impressive. Just make sure my mic's on. Yep, seems to be going. We've got a Adventure Force Pro. These shoot quite good as well. A suction tip dart, which I want to see if this will actually load. I haven't tried this yet. Yeah, it loads in through the back. Okay. Perfectly fine. So if you wanted to use suction tips, you could use them. One of my favorites, this is a chili dart that I've had for a long time now. It's a full-size variant of it too, which is quite hard to find. Another one I really want to try is a Busby dart, because these were I use these a lot in my childhood. Obviously they don't fit in the chamber. That fits quite nicely in the barrel. Wow, that fired it. That's probably the hardest a Busby dart's ever been fired. Old school X-Shot dart, this won't chamber, there's no way, these never chamber, but fits quite well into the barrel. Fires perfectly fine. This is the other reason why I like blasters like this, because you can use anything, literally anything. If you find a dart that fits in the barrel, then you can do it. There's also another dart that I forgot to get. Another thing you can buy is mega barrels that, well, you can print them as well for yourself. But one thing I haven't seen people try is combining the darts together. This is a janky build, but it works, honestly, guys. This is why I want to show it. I use some, when I make my darts, I have a lot of shells left of just foam. So I stuff some foam in here just so it doesn't go all the way in. So it's, you know, it's not glued in either, so I can just take it out, which is cool. There's actually one of the things stuck to it, but there you go. Obviously it won't fit in the front, but this has got quite a lot of foam to make a good seal as well, which is why I did that. If you did it with a half-size dart, you wouldn't have enough seal. But there we go. Does it fire? It fired. It doesn't fire at a good performance, but it fires at like 10-15 feet, so you can sort of angle it upwards and fire it. But yeah, and of course we'll try a worker dart. Some of them are a bit too loose, I've noticed. That one fired okay. Another one of my new favourites is the X-Shot solid darts, the ruby darts. These are quite a good seal as well. So you get the picture, guys. It works with everything. There's even another ammo type which I do want to show you guys, which I do like to make sometimes, which is micro darts, because you can shotgun those perfectly. So if you use good darts, you can see these are quite hard to push in, but there we go, we've got 2 in there. We could easily fit a third and have a 3 blast, but we'll do two micros just to show you. And yeah, so you can get more of a shotgun blast out of it, more so than you would out of just 2 or 3 of those half lengths. You can fit more in, and they spread out a little bit better than just sort of sticking together. But yeah, there's endless opportunities, honestly, with Nerf darts. Those are just a couple of little things that I designed, but they all worked. There isn't one thing that I haven't tried that hasn't worked, really, which is just amazing. There really isn't much else I can say. It's definitely a 5 out of 5, which I don't do very often. I love the aesthetics of it. You can see the metal barrel in there. You know, they use good quality parts. This is why it's a 5 out of 5. It's a metal barrel. I think they use a plastic dart gate because it's slightly thicker diameter than the barrel, which helps seal. But yeah, everything they needed to make metal was metal. I think if they made the whole thing metal, it would cost more. But they thought of everything, really. So yeah, and it fits in your pocket quite well, surprisingly. So definitely pick this up if you can. If you're in the UK, Blaster Time EU might have these. But I've noticed that when you open these, there's a button to press it, but you can just like flick it open. It's loose enough to do it without it, usually. It seems to be tighter today, I don't know why, but yeah. I suppose it depends what models you've got. Some are looser than others, but you can just flick it open if you try hard enough. You press the button and that releases the barrel, which is really cool. Endless mod opportunity as well with these. There's lots of mods online, so yeah. So check them out, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review. Thanks for watching.